Let's get right into it. The quadruple header. The 4 biggest games of the week. We'll start with the earliest one in Germany. How did Germany get this game? Chiefs and Dolphins.
Well, one, I'll tell you how they got it, because they've had 2 games now, and they have the best fan base I've maybe seen in any NFL game anywhere. America, Germany, London, Mexico City, whatever. They love it. You turn the game on, and you can feel the energy in the stadium, right? You turn the game off, and there's still energy in the stadium. They don't want to leave. They're sitting there singing to each other forever. But, yeah, it's a special atmosphere. It is. It's really cool to see the German people embrace that. I love it on a Sunday morning, kind of waking up. I drink coffee. I sit on the couch, before I got to start getting ready to come over here to NBC. But it's very enjoyable. I think it's something we're going to continue to talk about here. One, all right, Kansas City, we've been hitting on this. Hey, offense, good, right? We know that. They're dangerous with Patrick Mahomes at quarterback, but is it dangerous like years past? No, it's not. It's a little bit about, just more execution, ball control. He does the right thing with the ball more times than not, except for last week against the Denver Broncos, and so they're kind of playing that style of football. But again, continue here all the way to week 9. I cannot believe we're still saying this, that really they're playing through their defense. Their defense is the strength of their football team.
Yeah.
And we've never had that through the Mahomes era. And they made life hard on Tua and the Dolphins offense today.
So Peter King was there.
Yeah.
He was talking to Mahomes after the game,
Right.
and he asked him, is this the best defense that the Chiefs have ever had since you've been here?
Yeah.
He didn't answer that, but he did say, I do think we have the number 1 defense in the NFL.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd go that far.
Yeah, right. I don't think I would either, but it's worthy of saying.
Yeah.
It's close, right? They're certainly top 5. I'm going to take the Ravens and the Browns over them right now for sure. But
49ers?
I think the 49ers, I probably would take their talent on their field. I don't know if I'd take their scheme is the way it looks right now. Now, I think that's where you get into this matchup a little bit and what's kind of cool about it. See, the scheme of Kansas City, one, they do a lot of the things we talk about, right? Remember last year when we were talking about, hey, when you play Miami and you play Philadelphia, you can't sit there and think, oh, we're going to be sound and we're going to do everything. Like, they have too many answers. You're never going to be right all the time, right? So the tactical blitzes, right, every now and then where, we haven't brought this guy off the edge against this personnel all year, and then they bring it, right? So I think it's the curve balls that they bring to the table. And then the other thing that's just they're arguably the best man-to-man coverage football team in the league. And I think that's the big thing that went on today. One, nothing was easy for Tyreek Hill. And you know me, for my money, and as good as Tua and everybody else has been, the number one thing you have to worry about with Miami is if you slow down Tyreek Hill, you usually slow down their offense. And that's the thing you saw. One, when they did play zone, right, they got hands on him and pushed him around, didn't let him just fly up on the field like we talk about with some teams where he's like, hey, it's the quarterback's in the middle of the drop. He's already past the safety. Nobody touches him, makes him move. They just go, hey, here you go, right? So they didn't let any of that go down. But the big thing is they have the type of people that can play man-to-man. And they play man-to-man knowing where help is, so they're smart in how they do it, right? But that was, to me, again, the key to the game is tactical blitzes. Their defensive line did not let Miami run the ball. Now, everyone's going to look at it and go, well, Mostert had 85 yards. And I'm going to tell you that most of those came on like the last 2 drives of the game when the game was kind of done. Like it was like they were playing prevent defenses and like going, okay, run the ball. We'd like you to run the ball and let the clock run out here, right? So in the competitive part of the game, Miami could not run the ball consistently well. They couldn't pass protect well. There was good blitzes like we talked about off of that. And then they're one of the few teams I've seen so far that said, you know what, we'll get in your face and play man-to-man against all your guys. And that's because they got some dudes in L'Jarius Sneed, McDuffie, and Watson who are phenomenal cover guys. Watson, 23, or not 23, the other young corner, I'm blanking on his damn name, who's really good too, has great length. But they were able to match up is my point. And not let Tua just go, oh, here's little play action, boom, you're wide open over the middle, right?
Yep.
So none of that. And you know what I've said. One thing I've questioned with Miami, which I think we're going to continue to question, is obviously they're feasting on the poor right now. They're not. They played three teams with above 500 record here.
Who did Dolphins beat? Who'd they beat?
Exactly. It goes back to that. And I can't say
right.
that I can disagree with that at this point. I can't.
So if you're watching on Peacock or YouTube right now,
right.
we're showing the graphic that we showed on Football Night. So, yeah, versus teams currently over 500, the Dolphins are 0-3 points per game, 17 points per game versus teams that are currently under 500, 6-0, undefeated, scoring almost 40 points per game. That's a drastic difference.
It's a drastic difference, and to me, all those games had one thing in common, and I know we've hit this on other pods. It's just that, we didn't see Mostert run with a screen for 50 yards down the sideline. We didn't see Tyreek Hill catch a receiver screen for 35 yards. Like I said, we didn't see the little, there's a quick play action, boom, right over the middle. They weren't going to let any of that happen. And I think that was big. And then the other aspect we talked about with Miami, if you can get them to third down, that's when they're there to be had, because now you don't have to worry about some of the screens, the speed sweeps, the reverses, and all of that. So it's drop back pass, and their O-line is not great at pass protecting, and that's where Kansas City had their way too. I keep thinking Kansas City's D's going to fall off or slow up because they're so aggressive. I've given up on that. Today was the official give up. Like, they're real. This is going to continue this way all year long, and really impressive win by them, as their offense is still, of course good, but finding its way, and it hasn't hit a groove of domination on a consistent basis this year.
And you think they will at some point? Like, they should figure out something maybe a little bit better. Maybe it won't be the dominant offense that we've seen in the past, but they'll figure out something a little bit better. But they held Tyreek Hill to a season low yards per catch of 7.8.
Yep.
Season low in points for the Dolphins in 14. Season low in pass yards,
193.
Yeah, 175 right? I have here. Is it
well, I think it was 193 with Tua's single stats. Maybe it's 175 when you add in the sacks and do
with
all that.
Sacks,
that changes the team stats.
I add in the sacks. That's
of course
what I
you do. You're
That's
a team guy.
Do.
But 3 for 12 on third down, like we talked about, right? That's not their best. They're at their best when you're at first and second down, and you go, I don't know what they're about to hit us with, right? So if you go back and look at the games where they just tore it up, they don't get the third down that much, because it's like first down, 6 yards. Second down, we could run it, we could throw it, we could throw a screen, we could throw a bomb, and the defense is like, I don't know what the coming, and they go, okay, we screwed you over. We were right. And they didn't get in a lot of those situations today, but I got to give credit. Steve Spagnuolo is one of the best defensive coordinators in football in exposing pass protections, disguising coverages, and not being afraid to call some aggressive coverages when the time needs it, and that's where he's really impressive to me.
I don't know if you saw at the end of the game, Mike McDaniel was giving the handshakes and whatever, and then Steve Spagnuolo came over, and he just saw a look on Mike McDaniel's face. It was
where
like, man,
he was like, I
smiled,
respect you.
Totally. 100%.
I could believe that. Spags has gone to another level over the last year, in my opinion, with just his game planning and what he brings to the table on a weekly basis. And, of course, the one he had in the Super Bowl was extremely impressive against the Eagles, and it's continued right on to this year.
And they hit in the draft with some of these young guys. Like, they can play. So I think that's a part of it, too. It gives them more confidence to do some of this stuff.
It's a great point by you, because, like, Karlaftis is continuing. He shows up every week. Leo Chenal, the defensive line, the linebacker's great. Yeah. And then all the secondary players we talked about.
Joshua Williams, was that the other guy?
That's who I was thinking about, Joshua Williams. Joshua Williams and Watson, and Watson, number 35, they have great length, and they're like low 4.3 guys. So those are great weapons to have. And, hey, one of the big plays of the day was the defense with the 59-yard fumble return, right?
Yeah.
Byron Cook.
Okay, so that I'm glad you brought me there.
Yeah, good.
By far my favorite part of the game. I've talked to you about this.
Of course.
For years on this podcast.
Yes.
So the first thing I did when I got here at NBC, they go, Ahmed, what do you know nothing about? And I go, horse racing and rugby. They go, good, you're doing both of them. So I did the horse racing, I've learned. And rugby, I learned a lot. And I'll tell you what, watching rugby, you don't have to watch it for too long to be like, there are some things that football teams could use in America. We've talked about this before.
Yes.
And the Chiefs do it more than most. And that especially at the end of the half, when your offense is not driving down the field. I mean, that is the perfect time to take a little bit of a chance. You just turned them over.
Right. Let's see if we can make something happen.
Worst case scenario is you give the ball right back, but it's like whatever. Then it's just like offsetting penalties. We go back to where we were before.
Yeah.
Like, I liked what I saw.
I do too. I think that was the right scenario there.
For sure.
Plus, you're on the edge of the field, right? It was a receiver. It's not like a bunch of people around you, so it's not like you're laddering the ball in the middle, like you picked up a fumble in between the tackles, right? And now there's like 75 people around. You want to go, whoa, no, be careful laddering the ball there. But you're out on the edge. He got spun around. I believe that was Lonnie Edwards, right? The safety. And he gets spun around, and he recognized, or Mike Edwards, excuse me, not Lonnie Edwards. He he recognizes nobody's around, and to have the composure to pitch the ball to Cook, who then turns it on up the sidelines, huge play in the football game.
Yeah.
It really was, because it looked like it was 14-0, and the Dolphins are going to go down, at least get a field goal to make it 14-3, if not 14-7, and they're going to get the ball to start the third quarter. So you thought, this game still has a chance to get very tight and close here, and that, of course, took a lot of pressure off the Chiefs.
And I don't want to take too long on this game, but, I mean, having said all of this, the Dolphins did come back.
Yes.
And they did have a chance.
Right.
And Tua did have a wide-open receiver on 3rd and 10 that I don't know what happened on that play.
Well, I mean, yeah, you do know what happens. You're trying to be nice.
I mean, I can't imagine that he underthrew the ball that much.
He did underthrow the ball that much.
How
I
does
don't
that
know
happen?
what he was
Did it
thinking.
slip out of his hand?
It could have. You're right. Because, I mean, again, you know I don't think his arm is great, but he usually doesn't do that to that extent.
Yeah.
But I think, them being aggressive, they were going to make Tua make a throw and beat them. They were going to let Mike McDaniels dial something up where they were like, okay, it's just easy, and now Tyreek's running, right? That you could see that was their thing at the end, right? That was off the, okay, so Mahomes fumbled. They get the touchdown. They make it 21-14. It's looking good. It's late in the game.
It's right at the end of the game.
And
It's
they're
the second to last play. Second
right?
to last play.
And they're playing man-to-man. And he kind of looked like he threw it off his back foot and just tried to touch it up there a little too much. Like, I'm just going to give my guy a shot. It was way underthrown. And then the 4th down play, again, to our point with Spags, they bring an all-out blitz. They're going, we're going to keep the pressure on you. And if they dial up the right play or make a play, so be it. But, they weren't going to go down playing some soft zone and just letting them get an easy completion to keep the game going.
Congratulations to Andy Reid. He ties Hank Stram for most regular season wins by a Kansas City head coach. So, Andy, big Santa Claus as we get here towards the holiday season. Another notch in the belt.
He's one of the greatest coaches of all time. I mean, that's the stratosphere he's got into here the last few years, and I think it's even shown with this, with the way they're playing and still winning and 7-2 and all of that, and Mahomes in the passing game not always having to throw for 350 for the Chiefs to win, and they're still finding ways to win, I think speaks to the totality of that football team. Yo, what up, homies? Thanks for watching. Remember, subscribe to Chris Simms Unbuttoned. Right now, we got Sunday pod, right? So you can have it Monday morning. We recap all the action. Wednesday, it's the What the Happened podcast. We're going to get deep in the weeds on the key matchups of the week. And then Thursday, I'm picking games with that jerk Florio. So you know where to find us, homies. Keep watching. Peace out. We'll see you.